and welcome to Uncaged Leaders. So, I'm Mariquita Solis, Uncaged Heart Coach, and my guest this week is still on vacation. So, I thought, let me do a live stream by myself, which is all good. I planned this live stream at the beginning of the week before life threw me some curveballs. Nevertheless, we're live and we're going. So, I am the Uncaged Heart Coach again, and I help men dismantle the man mask, the one that's holding them back from their authentic voice and their soul, from their true nature. And I used to live with my own mask of bending myself and contorting myself for other people, and not living up to my true values and to my true worth, and not honoring myself. But again, whatever society dictated, I did it. I jumped through hoops. I demeaned myself, and gosh, it was a life that did not serve me. It was out of alignment. So I worked on myself and studied coaching in a few different places, and the latest was at the Institute for Woman-Centered Coaching, Training, and Leadership. And now that's a mouthful. When I started studying there was a different name and it was easier. So, nevertheless, I developed my coaching skills and studied under Dr. Claire Zammit, and she studied transformational coaching. So it's been quite a journey and an exciting one. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today. Well, I just wanted to update you on my life. If anyone's been following me for a while, I have a little dog, a little Chihuahua, I think Corgi mix, and he was attacked a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago today, and by a bigger dog. So Louis is my little dog. He's about 13 pounds, and he was attacked by I would say probably a 45-pound dog. And it's been it's been a very bumpy, to say the least, and that's putting it very mildly, journey. He's very lucky to be alive. I'm looking at him right now. He's sleeping on my bed, and he had 5 puncture wounds, and thankfully, yes, he did not get shaken or he would not be alive. So yesterday I took him to the vet, and that was for a recheck, and he had to have stitches. So now he's not in a good place, not feeling the best. Last night was a rough night for both of us. I'm an empath, so I felt everything he felt. I think I'm a super empath. I really feel what people feel. I would say maybe not. Maybe this isn't true, but I think I feel more so than other people do. Nevertheless, I use that for a superpower, not something that's going to ruin my life like I used to use it for, or not be aware of it, right? To live on autopilot where I didn't know what was going on. So, nevertheless, Louis had a hard night, and we are both having a better day. He is able to sleep right now. It looks like he's sleeping, so that's a big improvement. And I'm basically staying with him because he needs to be. I need to monitor him. I made him a donut because they've sent us home with this, the typical plastic cone, and that was not the best. And then I went and got him something at the store, and that fell off. And finally, I just Googled how to do it yourself, and I made one myself, and now it's on. So anyway, that's what's going on in my life. A little bumpiness and a lot of dog caretaking, but of course I wouldn't have it any other way because I love that little guy. I don't know what I would do without him. So I wanted to share with you about the Father-Son Challenge that I have coming up that is starting on March 23rd. It's 5 days. 5 days to grow the connection between fathers and sons. And a study that is pretty shocking showed that men only spend about 8.5 minutes a day with their children. And I can believe that, because men are out working and doing what they were taught to do, right? Working the hours and paying the bills, what our culture dictates, and being stoic. In fact, I have. Let me get this without falling over. Let's see here. So I do have how men are to conforming to the male norms. Now, this was a study, and I wish I had it. I saw this in a TED talk with Brene Brown, and she talks about this. So they have to always show emotional control. Work has to come first. They must pursue status, and violence is acceptable. Female norms: thin. You must be thin. You must be modest. You must be nice. And you must use all available resources for your appearance. So I was going to see if I thought I possibly had that on the back, but I did not write it down. I'm surprised. But nevertheless, that was a study that was done. And how do we live up to that? That is what society says that we should do. And I am I'm failing by society standards, and that's okay. Right? I'm not here to live by what society tells me, what I'm meant to live by, but I'm living by my own ethics and my own integrity, and in alignment, right, with my life, as I am an energy. We're all made of energy. So as an energy field, which is this body, how can I live in alignment with my beliefs and my morals? I mean, we all are on this journey of life, right? And I remember when I went to an energy healing class a few weeks ago, and my teacher was saying how there's this, now this is a vertical line, and then we are, so while we live our life, sometimes we go out here. This is out of alignment with the vertical line, and then we come back. And the key is to stay as close to that line as we can. So yeah, and some of you all might be way out here, and you might think, my gosh, how am I going to get back to alignment and integrity? I've done something that is just so far out there. I don't even know what to do. But it's possible for you to get back in alignment with your life. And, I've made some horrendous choices in my life, I'll say, as we all have. But to take accountability, to take responsibility for those choices, and to do what we have to do to make amends to whoever that is. If it's myself, if it's a choice that I did that hurt myself or someone else, to make amends to myself or to that person. And that's living in alignment with integrity. So depending on your integrity factor, are you living in alignment with integrity, right? And what does that even mean? What is integrity? What are morals? What are you living for? These are very important questions. So, and this is very important when we're passing these, the morals on to our children, right? To your son, to your daughter, because they're watching, right? And when you're out there working as a man, and you come home and the job is done and you want to relax, and the kids are there, and you might say hello, you might see them in passing, and especially with this age of the internet and electronics, you might not spend very much time at all with them. And that's why I have designed this challenge, so that 15 minutes a day can be something that is worthwhile. 15 minutes. It's not going to be just a passing, like, how was your day? Fine, thanks. How was yours? Fine, blah, and go on. And it's going to be something with intention. So, and I want to honor men here for everything that they do. In fact, I am a voice for men. I know it's hard to be a man. I've heard from many men saying, I'm working, getting everything done for my family, and they don't want to give. They're not happy. But the reason that the family might not be happy is because they want to feel your soul. They want to have that connection, right? So, yeah, and you can be a wonderful, just the best provider to your family, and then yet still be a total stranger to them. And that's, again, no one's blaming, no one's saying that's bad or wrong. Everyone loses. You're not getting what you deserve in your life, and your children or your spouse isn't getting that either. So, when you go to work and you're giving all that energy, the best energy, to your boss or your clients, and then there's nothing left for you or for your family, and you and your family are who actually matter. And I will say, I've talked to many men who have said that they didn't know their father very well. Their father didn't have a father, so they didn't know how to parent, and they didn't show them or teach them about integrity, about living in morals, about what it is to be a man. And what is it to be a man? That's the question. Is it what society dictates, which I have from my little list here, which is, again, always show emotional control, work is first, pursue status, and violence is acceptable. Is that really what a man is? Or is there something deeper than that? Something about integrity, morals, character, honor. So in my own relationship with my father, I remember as a little girl feeling close to my father. And I remember it was me and my brother, who was a year younger, and my mom and dad. And I remember that until probably I turned 12, it seemed like we were doing things together, me and my brother and my dad. And then after that, things changed. I guess when I started to become a woman, I just didn't have that connection with him anymore. And it's very disappointing to look back on that. Now, my brother he would say that he had a very good relationship with my dad. I'm sad to say that I really felt like this isn't anything on him. This is the way he was brought up. I felt like I was judged by him. So he had a very strict upbringing, and this seems crazy, but actually I felt like I was a very, according to other standards or standards of society, I felt like, and I could say now that I was a very responsible child. I didn't get into any trouble, but compared to the way he was brought up, I was crazy acting. So yeah, we butted heads, and I think a lot of it had to do with religion and the foundational beliefs that he had about life and women. And I think my parents thought that I was too outspoken, and I really actually was not very outspoken. I was very shy, and it took me a long time to develop my voice. So nevertheless, there were these barriers between my father and I that didn't allow me to get to know him. I didn't know who he was as a young man. I could tell you very few things about his childhood, really nothing, honestly. And it's very sad. Now, we talked about things during my childhood, and we had some heavy things go on in our family that we did discuss somewhat, but also there's a lot of things that we don't talk about in families, and that also creates distance. So yeah, and I'm really sad that I can't tell you about either one of my parents' childhoods, their teen years, what it was like to be them. So this is why I'm doing the father-son challenge, because I don't want that for anyone. I want children to know their parents, their fathers. And if fathers only spend 8.5 minutes a day with their children, my gosh, surely we can make it 15 for 5 days. So, all right. That's coming up again on March 23rd. And the way that you would be a part of that, it's a free challenge, is to message me on Facebook or message me here. And the group is on Facebook, and we'll get started there on the 23rd. And it's nothing heavy. It's very fun and easy, and to get to know each other the way that I didn't get to know my dad. So my dad was very quiet, and that made it harder, but that's just who he was. So I really, did not know his soul. I can tell you his beliefs again. I mean, he was very Catholic. So I can tell you, yeah, he believed in the Catholic Church. And I would say he believed in the Catholic Church because that was what he was raised to believe. So, but I wanted to know more than just that he was raised in the Catholic Church and that he believed the ways of the Catholic Church. I wanted to know about his soul. I wanted to know what it was like for him to be a young man. What was it like for him to meet my mother? What did he think? Was he afraid? Was he scared? What was his, to have this vulnerable conversations between parents and children is so important. And I didn't ever have that. So let me know if you're watching and if you have any questions. So if you're watching and you're a father and you have children, your son and your daughter, they want to know who you are, right? If you're going to work every day or on the computer and work is over, and then after the 10-hour day, you sit down on the couch and you've made the money for them and you've provided, right? And you think, you know what? I'm being that stable rock for them. But your son, he doesn't see that. What he sees is a wall. He sees a dad who is physically present, but mentally 1,000 miles away. And how do we make that connection? How can we, I'm not a man, but I'll just pretend. How can we be physically present for our sons when they need us? Because they're going to go through the same thing in life. And for them to be prepared, they need to have share the stories of vulnerability. It can't be like, oh, well, I just plowed through everything and everything was fine, right? Because they're going to get to that point and they're going to plow through things. Again, I'll refer to my list, which says, always show emotional control. Work is first. Pursue status, violence. So what does that do when they're trying to have relationships? Always show emotional control. Well, then you're not going to connect with anyone. Vulnerability is what connects people heart to heart. So these are things that are taught by society, and they serve some functions, yes, but not all the time. There has to be discernment. We want to have emotional control if there's an accident, like when Louis got attacked, right, by that dog. It wouldn't have done any good for me to scream and fall apart. That is when I needed to show emotional control, grab my dog and get in the car and go to the vet, right? But am I going to sit here and pretend on this live stream, pretend like I don't have any feelings or that I don't have any pain or that didn't hurt me to see him bleeding and wounded? No, I'm not. Because that's not going to connect with anyone. And as a empath, I want connections in life. And that is what is going to get you, this sense of bonding with your family, with your partners, right? So I want to talk about the fall guy trap, right? And that's what this is titled. And what does that mean? It means and this is so wrong. when a partner will say, wait till your father gets home, and then you are the bad guy that has to come home and deliver the punishment for the child. And my gosh, that's such a heavy thing, right? And I used to be afraid of my dad too. And what did that get me? Nothing. And that just kept me from getting what I needed from my dad. And what I needed was someone that I knew would stand up for me all the time, right? That was willing to hear my point of view, willing to hear what it was like for me to be a teenage girl that was afraid. But I didn't have that, right? Because my dad was in the position also of the heavy, right? The fall guy. So, and that's just absolutely a wrong place to put men in. So, um, I don't know. Again, I'm a voice for men. I'm a voice for women as well. So that's why I'm doing this challenge. And please forgive me. I've had a very long night. If I sound a little exhausted, it is because I'm emotionally exhausted. For 2 weeks, I've been dealing with this, with Louis and being in pain, and it's been a rough 2 weeks. And we probably have another 2 weeks to go, honestly. Maybe another week before, I don't know, maybe before he's up and feeling a lot better. We have 2 weeks before the stitches come out. And then we have a tooth issue because one of his teeth got knocked out and the other one is crooked. So yes, so bear with me, please. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend that I have it all together all the time. I don't. Right now, I'm doing the best that I can. I used to pretend, but forget that, right? So, so back to being the fall guy. That is something that I don't believe in, being the villain, because that puts up walls between you and your children. And that is not what children need, because they learn to put up walls. And that's what I did. I put up walls. I pretended. Pretend. What does that get? What did that get me? Nothing. Pretending everything was okay while I jumped through hoops for everyone else. Pretending that I didn't matter. Yeah, I do matter, just like you do. Now I live in authenticity and honor, and I've had to suck it up and apologize. I've made horrible choices. I've had to make amends to people. I've had to look at myself. I've had to forgive myself where I thought I could never do that, because I lived in the half system of emotions where it was all emotions. And that's why I have Spock behind me, logic. Spock reminds me there has to be balance, alignment, integrity to myself, right? And am I living in an integrity to my beliefs? Have I done something to hurt someone that I need to make amends to? Have I done something to hurt myself that I need to forgive myself for? Right? And the most beautiful thing is when we can say, I'm sorry. How freeing is that for everyone? How beautiful, how courageous is that? There's nothing more courageous than saying, I'm sorry. What can I do to make amends? Or I'm sorry to myself. I'm sorry that I hurt you, right? I mean, I'm sorry that I hurt myself. And that takes true courage. You have to put down the walls. Take down the walls to say you're sorry. Take down the pretend game. I have to take down the pretend game to say I'm sorry to myself, that I didn't stand up for myself, that I pretended to be somebody I wasn't, that I led you on so I could just hang on to you, right? That's what I used to do in the past, pretend to be what my partners wanted instead of who I was. Now, that led to years and years of pain for me. So again, living in integrity, yes. And I was way all over the place here instead of in the alignment, right? On this vertical line. Get back to the vertical line. If you're way out here, do what you have to do to get back to integrity, alignment in your life. So, And as fathers, everything you do, your sons are watching. Your sons are watching. Your sons are watching how you treat women. And my gosh, I don't even know what to say about this. I mean, this is such a heavy thing. I feel like being as a woman, yes, how you treat women, the comments that you make, we all pay the price for that. When other human beings are put down, mocked, shamed, treated like nothing. And that's what happens when we pretend. We can treat other people like nothing, like they don't matter. Right? When we act like we don't have feelings, and I keep referring back to this list, when we just showing emotional control, like when we're always controlling our emotions and we just have this stoic look on our faces that people don't matter, we all pay the price. You pay the price and the people pay the price, because we're all interconnected. We all are one. What we do to one, we do to all. Now, it took me, I don't know how many years. I'm 68 now. 68, I'm putting myself 10 years ahead. I'm 58 now. And so what we do to one, we do to all. So, all right. So remember, how you show up for others. Your son is watching. Are you showing up for integrity? Are you pretending, excuse me, that you don't ever hurt anyone? Are you pretending like you don't make any mistakes in life? Are you refusing to apologize to people? Well, your son is watching. What the best thing you can do for your child is to show that we all make mistakes and to own that mistake. A champion, a leader owns that they did something wrong and they make amends and they apologize. It doesn't matter if it's been 15 years, 10 years, 2 years, 5 minutes. Integrity demands an apology. Responsibility demands it. There's no way to live in integrity if you're not going to own up to what you've done and your child is watching. What a beautiful lesson that is, to teach them that you can make mistakes, you can fail, and you can move on, and you can, once you make amends or take responsibility for your actions, you move on forward. That you have the courage to do that. You're not going to be stuck. You're not going to be so scared that you don't take responsibility. Responsibility is a beautiful thing, and that is freeing now, because if you're not showing your children that, your son that, then you're saying you can never mess up. In fact, if you can never mess up, you better never say you messed up. And what kind of world is that to live in when you can never fail? Because failing makes you a loser. But that's not true. We're human beings and we all fail. So think about that. What your son is watching when you're out there. Are you failing forward? Are you failing with confidence? Are you failing with responsibility? All right. So let me have a sip of water here. And let me know if you're watching on the replay, live, if you have any questions. Because everything you're doing, you are creating a legacy. And that legacy is what you will be remembered by. So, talking about the 8.5 minutes again that fathers spend with their sons or daughters a day, then that is why you can't afford to play games in this little amount of time that you're playing. Integrity is how you live when you're not wearing the man mask. And the man mask is the stoic, being stoic, not feeling everything's wrong. I'm tough, right? I'm tough. I don't feel. That is a cop-out. Courage feels. We all feel. That's the half system. That's living only in logic. We are human beings. We're not meant to do that. It's illogical to do that, because Your body is not just made of logic. You're shutting down, when you shut down feelings, your body is a system. And if you're shutting down feelings, you're not getting the data that you need, right? Feelings tell us something. So you're shutting down the feelings, and that's not even logical. You're only taking in half of the data. How does this body function if you're only going to listen to half of the data? How is it going to function efficiently? It's not. How are you going to have relationships that last? They're not going to last if you're not listening to your feelings, if you're not acknowledging your emotions, if you're not acknowledging this other part that's not logical. It's not going to work. So when young men are out looking for dates, or not just young men, other men, I wanted to address this. I've been addressing it on some of the reels that I've been doing. Are you looking for a relationship, a partner that is aesthetically beautiful? I mean, that fits an aesthetic, well, whatever the word is, aesthetic requirement. I don't think that's the right word, but right, aesthetically pleasing, right? Is that what you're looking for? Are you looking for someone with a soul? Because if you're simply looking for a beautiful face, a perfect body, someone to go on vacations with, how does that guarantee a relationship that lasts, right? It doesn't. Integrity is truth. I mean, I can go spend, I don't know how much money, if I wanted to really up my appearance. And that's what this, again, here we go back to this list, which is conforming to female norms: thin, modest, nice, use all available resources for appearance. So dish out the money to look beautiful. And yeah, if I wanted to go get a date right now, I could. Is that the issue? I mean, is that the goal? No, that's not the goal for me. It might be for you, but the goal for me is to partner with high integrity and morals and values that are similar to mine. And when you, speaking as an energetic being, when you meet the partner that is, I don't know, this is just such a lame word, the right partner, but the partner that resonates, you'll know it right away because you'll be vibrating at the same frequency. You won't have to explain yourself. They'll get you right away. And that is rare when you meet someone like that, that's on the same frequency as you, that's vibrating on the same level, right? That has the same values, the same morals, the same beliefs. That's something that will pop out at you like that. And it's very rare. So if you've ever had that connection with someone, do everything you can to keep that connection and not blow it, throw it out the window, or whatever, you know? First of all, relationships are filled with falling downs and getting up. So there's never, I mean, if you are in a place where you feel like you've sabotaged relationships, that people that you value, apologize. Because if those people are meant to be with you, they will accept your apology. That brings me to high empathy. We want partners that are highly empathetic because we all mess up. And when we mess up, empathy is what will keep the relationship together. And empathy also, if we are empathetic to each other, we want to hear their other person's point of view. We care about them. High empathy cares. You don't need a script. You don't need a way to handle conflicts and like, well, first we do this step, this step, this step. No, when you're empathetic, you live from the heart. You do from the heart. What does that mean? It means I don't do things because I have to do things. I do things because I love you. I want you to be happy, and I want I want to make you smile. It's not because I have to do things, right? And again, I want to hear your what's important to you. I want to hear your feelings about this thing that we might have conflict with. I'm not doing it because I have to hear it. I'm not doing it because there are steps to hear it. I'm doing it from my heart because my heart wants to know your heart because I care about you. This is a deeper foundation of love, right? I don't have to get out techniques to resolve conflict. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for, for a successful relationship. Maybe you are looking for someone who's beautiful, aesthetically beautiful. But I'm saying if you want a relationship that lasts, then it's got to be from this foundational attributes: morality, high empathy, shared values. So, and this is very important for your sons to be watching as well, that you're prioritizing these things in people, showing your sons that women are not trophies, right? That you're in a partnership, interdependent. This idea of being dependent and hyper dependent, I don't need anyone, is killing us. So we all bring gifts to the table and we work together. So like I said before, empathy, high empathy is non-negotiable in a relationship. Integrity, non-negotiable. When people typically go out on first dates, they don't discuss these things. They don't talk about conflict, or they don't talk about morals or values. A lot of times they talk about what they like to do for fun, where they like to travel, but these very deep values and beliefs are not discussed, and then relationships fall apart. And unless you discuss these and resonate with the other person, the relationship will fall apart. If one person values empathy towards all and non-judgmental, and then we have another person that judges and really doesn't have high empathy, it's probably not going to last. So, one person might be operating from tactics to keep a relationship together, or scripts, right? And those scripts are often given by coaches, right? And those scripts are for people that are afraid of being vulnerable and truly seen. If you want a relationship to last, you're going to have to be vulnerable. Empathy is for the brave. Vulnerability is for the brave. And it shows you also what to do when people are hurting, right? And to have this is so important when you have a son, to be able to speak vulnerably. Then you won't have this disconnect if you establish this when your children are young. It all ties in together. All relationships, empathy with your son, with your partner, with all beings in the world. You cannot take it apart. We're all interconnected, right? And like I said before, if you're dating someone, and I recently interviewed Sam Pepin. Pepin. And he was talking about how he knew within the first hour that he had met his wife, his fiance now, because there's that resonance of energy. If it's not a pretend game, you'll know. If it's not two egos showing up, you'll know. So that's vulnerability. Put the egos to the side and be vulnerable, right? Because he could feel her resonance immediately. Where do truth and honor come into it when we're speaking with people? All these things are so important, right? How do you show up that way in front of your son, right? I mean, the people that you surround yourself with. So showing your son that, I mean, not to choose a partner that looks pretty in a frame picture, but for a soul. What is it about their soul? Right? So you don't have to be the fall guy. So your son doesn't have to be the fall guy. He'll have a partner who is kind. It won't set him up to be the bad guy, to be the one, father's coming home now, you're going to get in trouble. Mm-mm. No. It should be, father's coming home and we'll have a conversation about this because we love you. Right? And that's vulnerability. That's speaking from the heart. We love you and we want to hear how you feel about things, right? So I've worked very hard to be empathetic to others, to be discerning to the people that I'm with, right? Who I surround myself with, right? To believe that I am enough. I don't have to anymore. I don't have to say I'm enough. I don't have to say it. I love myself. I used to hate myself. Now let me say it again. I used to hate myself. And I had to reprogram my brain to love myself. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to spend hours reprogramming my brain. I don't have to put up sticky notes saying, wonderful thing that said wonderful things about myself so I would see them all the time. Now I've got it. That's the program I run. I love myself. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect. So we want, as a father, your son to know that you are enough and that he is enough, right? That he is enough and you are enough. So validating him that he's enough. So he doesn't have to find someone, a superficial woman who will say you're enough. And then if she's wanting his assets, if she's treating him like an asset, wanting his money or his position or status, that he won't be used. So, that's eventually going to break his soul. He'll eventually push his soul down so far away that he won't even know who he is anymore. It's about living in integrity. So, this all goes back to integrity and not living a cardboard life. And a cardboard life is the fake life. It's a life with a man mask, the life of stoicism, right? Saying, I'm not emotional. I'm not vulnerable. I don't feel this or that. No, everything's good. It's pretend game. And pretend is not courageous. It's about depth. So, y'all, okay. So back to the Father-Son Challenge. That's coming up March 23rd, 5 days, 15 minutes a day. And now it's not therapy. It's not crying or sitting in a circle or anything like that, right? We're just spending 15 minutes a day resetting this loop of possible coming in and saying, how's everything? Fine. How are you? Fine. Blah. And then, right? No, this is about really living with substance, being the leader, not the fall guy that takes the blame for everything, but the father who shows up and is there for his son, or his son in this case. This is a father-son challenge. And so it's inviting you not to be a stranger in your house for another year. Be the man that your son actually wants to follow and to know. And we're talking at a depth that will stay with him, the memories that I wish I had. So how does this happen? How does this work? First of all, it's free and it's on Facebook. So please message me on Facebook, or you can comment on here if you would like to be part of this. Because my mission is my mission is to build relationships, because of everything in my life, relationships are the most important thing for me. Building strong, loving, empathetic relationships that last with a strong foundations of high morals, beliefs, and integrity, and vulnerability. The vulnerability to say, I'm sorry. Responsibility. So, it might be a lot to think about. I'm very grateful for you all. Thank you for all your well wishes for Louie. Hopefully tonight we'll have better sleep. I think so. He's not crying. Yesterday he was crying a lot. So it's going to be a better day. It already is a better night. It's very windy outside. I'm in the Atlanta area. It's sunny and I'm sad. I want to take my little dog to the park, but he's not wanting to go anywhere. So I might go to the park by myself. We'll see. It's a friend of mine's birthday. I made some birthday cupcakes for her, so I'll take those up. So let me know if you want to join the challenge again, or if you have any subjects that you would like to have addressed in videos or one-on-one coaching. Because if you're sabotaging yourself every day and living in that same loop, it's illogical to keep playing that game. You're getting nowhere, right? If you're living with a man mask only in logic, that's illogical. There has to be a balance. Logic with emotions. Some sort of balance in alignment with integrity, values, responsibility, accountability, virtues. How do you sleep at night if you don't have that? I'll tell you how I slept terribly. When I didn't live in alignment with my life, when I hated myself, it was a constant rat race. Thankfully, I'm off of that wheel. And I live in not perfect alignment, but I'm doing my best. At least I'm not going way out here and way out there anymore. Right? I pretty much stay somewhere close to the center now. I'm not perfect. Maybe I will go over here, but I just hope, and I dedicate to myself that I will pull myself back to the center. I'm a human being, so who knows what's going to happen. I'm just thankful that I'm able to handle a lot of things that life throws at me. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm no saint. I've never been a saint, and I don't want to be a saint. I'm a human being who messes up. I'm here to guide other people if they would like that guidance. So if you would like to have a breakthrough call, reach out to me. It's not playing tiddlywinks. It's if you're taking responsibility, it's $175 breakthrough call. And all of that can be found in the description on YouTube under my link tree. Yeah. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to pretend. And I'm not here just to make things sound pretty. I'm here to be real, but also kind and empathetic. There's no way I can't be empathetic because I would say, a super empath. So, all right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for listening. I think that I am running out of energy here. I'm going to go take care of my little dog and take my friend her birthday cupcakes. And I wish you all a beautiful day. Connect with me if you're interested, and I'll walk with you, and we can get through all this junk that might be holding you back. Because I've been there. I had to clear through the wreckage myself, through the debris, years and years and years of debris. I cleared through it, and I'm on the other side. All right. Next week, we will be back to having guests again. It should be my friend Elliot. And got a lot of great guests for the future. So thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. And I appreciate, again, letting me have this perfectly imperfect live stream. Thank you all, and see you next week. Bye.